Francis Maxwell here, Allan Russell. Fantastic coverage, a lot of in-depth analysis that I could try and provide, but he's got the professional experience to back it up, and also got the Scottish good looks that everyone just seems to. It's just a trait that runs in Scotland. Well, I think so anyway. So this is a great article that we found on 538.com, which talks about home field advantage doesn't mean what it used to in English football. So I'm going to spell out a couple of facts here that they said. In the early days of English football, about 60% of games were won by the home team. The rest split equally, 20% draws and 20% wins. And now the home team wins only about 40% of the games. The visitor wins 30%. Economics is coming into this, believe it or not. It's just amazing how much in-depth analysis they're talking about this. They're saying economist Mark Koyama said that he noticed this decline because of the amount of tickets that are being assigned to away fans who can actually come to the game, and it's decreasing obviously in the amount of funding that comes into both teams, where they have to narrow their home advantage and allow for more away fans to come in for larger expenditure, which is a confusing point. But what it makes and break it evenly is, if you've got a team like Celtic, as we know in Scotland, who are playing against St Mirren. St Mirren may have the home team, but they're going to get a lot more Celtic fans who will turn up because Celtic fans are willing to travel more. They have to allocate more away seats, and therefore more away fans, according to the results here, means that the home field advantage doesn't hold. From a player's perspective, I think the home field, or playing at home or playing away, never really affected me as a player. In fact, playing with teams like Kilmarnock and St Mirren, I used to love going to Ibrox or Parkhead to play, because you were playing in front of the 60,000, and it was a more exciting game, albeit you had 58,000 Celtic fans jeering you every time you lost the ball. But I feel nowadays, I mean, just an example, I was at Old Trafford 2 weeks ago, and they were telling me that it holds 76,000 and they allocate 3,500 to away fans. Now, if you're going to Old Trafford and you're a West Ham, they were playing West Ham that weekend, and you're a West Ham player, there's pressure because you're going to get abuse from 73,000 fans if you're not playing well. But the pressure's taken away from you for some reason, because you don't have your home fans. You're the underdog. You're going to go there and you're going to try your best and you're going to impress your 3,000 followers. But as a player, I think if you asked 100 players, I would think they would say the home and the away advantage doesn't really make a big difference. I think the big difference comes from the fact that games are analysed and televised so much now, that I feel I think it's more a bigger pressure on the officials. Oh, absolutely, especially in Old Trafford. I mean, how many times have we seen Alex Ferguson being called, saying that he's got his hand in the referee's pockets and everything going on with that. But to take that point, what you mentioned about teams that are going there and the pressure's relieved, I think for me in this issue, it's came down to the fear that these home teams used to install on other teams is no longer there, exempt from maybe Chelsea at this moment in time and Manchester City, but I'm talking about the last 3 or 4 years. You would previously have to scratch your eyes if you've seen Leicester beating Manchester United 5-3, although it was at Leicester's field. It's still an unbelievable result, and that is the fact. I'm just using Manchester United as an example, but teams no longer fear going to Old Trafford or the Emirates. And they go there, and I think the home field advantage is decreasing because these teams feel that they can go there and they don't have to show respect. I think I watched Aston Villa play Liverpool. Not an ounce of respect was shown to Liverpool's defence. They went out with a 4-3-3 rather than and previously you'd think they'd go out with a 4-5-1 maybe to just try and hold back and try and get a last minute goal. No, it doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't, and tactics play a big role in it, and as you say, the demise of the Old Trafford fortress over the last year to 18 months has really gave other teams, other coaches and other fans a different perspective on the reality that they can actually go and scrape a result at these big places. And the tactics, as you say, gone are the days of maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago where players go away from home, teams go away from home, and they play with a lone striker. And they fight for scraps and they try and hit on the counter attack. That that no longer happens as much, which then in turn gives the home team the advantage.
And I think
over
it's happening as somewhat of a domino effect at this moment, right? Because both, I mean, if you are sitting there and you see Leicester beating Manchester United at that, as I said, as that example, you're thinking, what have I got to lose? I mean, why can I not go there and do that? And I think that's happening not just in the English Premier League. Real Madrid are on a roll right now. I think I don't even want to compare the amount of goals they've scored to they've conceded. But I think more teams, especially in the Bernabeu, know they can score goals, because Atletico Madrid have mastered how to play against Real Madrid, and they are the underdogs still with them. And a lot of teams are starting to basically sculpt their tactics surrounding what Atletico Madrid have done. It's successful, and I think that is true. It's very rare in the game at this moment when you have a team that you know for certain that they're going to win every game at home, or they're going to be so hard to beat. Chelsea, for me, right, they look as if it will take a big upset to beat them, unless it's someone outside of the top four to beat them at Stamford Bridge.